Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. So finally the long awaited Storm buff details are here. Now we do know that she also gets new updated special attack and heavy attack animations. I think the base attack animations are remaining the same, but there's going to be a new victory animation. Right, all of that being said, for those of you who are in a rush, the long story short version of Storm's buff is crap ton of damage, not much else. She does gain a new stuff, new shock immunity, and she will have access to prowess in her base kit. That is about it. She doesn't do anything else. She's gonna hit hard, inflict shocks, and that's that. However, if she hits hard enough, I mean, like, again, that's gonna be enough for everybody to make videos with OMFNG, look at the damage, but likely, I kind of expect another Hela situation where if you really want to use a champion, you will get incredible amount of damage, and obviously it's going to make for a very cinematic experience, and you will be able to out damage a ton of new things. But when it comes in terms of utility, the champion doesn't pack too much of it. However, on the bright side, she still maintains all of the abilities she gains with Apocalypse, pretty much, and Professor X. All of those are still going to be very much so in play, and that means that Storm actually will have one of the highest damage potentials in the game. Now, one of the coolest things now with Storm Pyramid X, she can actually turn into a triple immune champion, which could actually make for some useful bits, because should be a champion that goes shock, incinerate, and cold snap immune. So basically to all of the damage, energy damage over time effects. Plus, the second part, whenever immunity prevents one of these effects, you gain 2 prowess effects, will also make for excellent cheese potential on the energy adoption nodes, on all of them, because you would be gaining tens and tens and tens of prowesses basically all the time. So there will be definitely some interesting stuff to take a look at, but as a day-to-day champion, yeah, there is not much else than that. Basically, her strengths are listed as high special attack damage, shock immunity, and maybe more because of that Storm Pyramid X synergy. But yeah, Storm's control of the elements grants her immunity to shock effects. Fair enough. Prowess buffs, unless otherwise stated. Storm's prowess buffs last 20 seconds. It's quite long prowess there, and it can be extended, I believe, with Professor X and or Apocalypse synergies. Grant 20% special attack damage. Now, 20% is not the strongest prowess, let's face it. However, she's going to be gaining quite a lot of those. Each time either champion lands a critical hit, you gain a prowess. She does have quite high crit chance, if I remember correctly. Each time opponent purifies a debuff, gain a prowess. She's oh, that's right. That is the one ability that I did quite forget about. She's going to be good versus skill purifiers now, for sure, because they gave her the classic mutant ability where if a skilled champion purifies a debuff, they're passively stunned now. But each time an opponent purifies a debuff, gain 1 prowess buff. Each time Storm gains a bleed effect, gain 2 prowess buffs. Now this can be useful, again, only with Apocalypse or Defensive. Oops, I dropped my phone. But it can be useful with if you make Storm a Horseman of Apocalypse, or as a defender, obviously. It's going to let her gain some prowesses. But this could be quite similar situation like we had with Cable, where you make her Horseman of Apocalypse, put her on Caltrops, dash back 20 times, you're going to have 40 prowess, and then just drop an insane level, all special attack. Each time Storm's immunity prevents a shock effect, gain 2 prowess buffs, sure enough. And yeah, it's basically all going to be about special attacks. If a skill opponent purifies stunned debuff, it is replaced with a passive stun lasting 2 seconds. That is that classic mutant ability that I talked about. Also, while charging or launching a heavy attack, all prowess effects on Storm are paused, knocking the opponent down. With this attack, pause all prowess effects on Storm for 10 seconds. So thanks to this ability, you're going to be able to get a ton of prowesses. Probably, I don't know. I don't know if she has a ceiling, but I can imagine that you can get like 99, which should give her like absolute brutal damage output. So again, it's perfect video clickbait material. Well, not clickbait, but video material for some insane numbers. Right, special 1 lightning strike. Each hit has 70% chance to inflict shock debuff, causing X amount of energy damage over 6 seconds. Well, here's the interesting bit, because we do not know how many hits is that. That is going to be very, very important. Also, if the opponent is stunned, the shock chance becomes 100%. All shocks on the opponent are paused for 6 seconds. That's cool. That's very useful. Use in tandem with Storm Special 2, stun or parrying for a shocking good time. First, special 2, first hit, gain 1 prowess effect, sure enough. Final hit, 100% chance to inflict stun debuff, fair enough. But it does not inflict shock anymore. Special 3, 100% chance to gain non-stacking precision buff, increasing critical rating in order to be able to stack more prowesses. Storm 1 prowess, but there we go. Signature ability. Launching a special attack grants Storm 1 prowess buff per level of special attack used. Additionally, each prowess on Storm to a maximum of 10 increases the potency of her shock debuffs by 18%. So if you have 10 prowess, 180% increased potency on that shock. Now, it does look like there's going to be some crazy numbers. I can easily see situation where you have like 90 plus prowesses in, moderately long fight. Problem is, again, it's all special attack exclusive, and there's nothing really in the kit till then. But we'll see where she lands in the game. Obviously, it's gonna we'll be doing pre and post buff damage comparisons and all that other stuff as well. Absolutely promised you. Now, there are some synergies that have been changed, namely the one with Nimrod. Old effect was when if you failed to activate stun during special 1, you gain a dormant prowess, up to 5 of them. New effect is going to be whenever Storm fails to activate a personal shock or stun effect during special attack, she gains 3 prowess buffs, so that's just going to help you build up more prowess. Storms, with Storm Pyramid X, as I mentioned, you gain those immunities, and this really does open quite a lot of cheese potential in a lot of energy adoption lanes and a few other nodes. But if we jump to Aunt May, and again, remind ourselves with synergies that she has with Professor X. One second, where's Storm? Am I blind? Here we go. Storm. And remind ourselves with the synergy that she has with Professor X and Apocalypse. So with Apocalypse, each hit of heavy attack into a shocked opponent has a 60% chance to inflict additional shock debuff, dealing 70% of modified attack over 8 seconds. So you will still maintain this ability of spamming your shocks, and if you have made her Horseman of Apocalypse, shock effects last 50% longer and heavy attacks refresh all of them. So you will still have this ability. Additionally, prowess effect duration for each Cerebro charge. So with Professor X, you will be increasing your prowess duration and also shock potency. And is that it? And obviously, Professor X further increases special attack damage. So it will be quite interesting to see what exactly you can combine there in some explosive results. I think that's about it. That's about it as far as synergies are concerned. But as far as buffs go, this is going to be one of those, in my opinion, buffs that's, very fun, very pretty. I guess it also depends on animations, but there's no unblockable stuff. That the only additional utility aside from the shock immunity is that skill champions, passive stuns. But we do have Bishop, we have Storm Pyramid X, and basically Apocalypse, who kind of does that. So we'll see where it goes in utility department. Basically, as a champion, she's going to be all about the damage, all about landing that big special attack, hoping it crits and deals like bazillion damage. I am very curious to test her out, play around with her. Do I see myself ranking her up? Maybe to rank 2 for fun. Do I see myself taking her further? Not yet. I can already see and imagine all the thumbnails on the videos with, super big yellow numbers. And heck, if it's super fun, I might upload one or 2 videos as well. But again, this is a champion that does damage, and very, very rarely damage itself is enough without much behind it. But it will be interesting to see how her new prowess building abilities kind of work with the shock that you could spam with Apocalypse, and she could be a monster in a sense. for targeted use. And obviously, hopefully the new animations are quite cool. Let me know what you guys think. I can see very, very, very big numbers. The problem I have is I don't see why I would pick her instead of somebody like CGR, for instance, who also has very, very big numbers, or something like that. Either way, let me know, guys. And yeah, that's it for this one. And we're going to be waiting for the buffs to go live, and I will post pre-buff and post-buff damage comparisons, and let's see what the difference is. See ya.
Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about